Good morning, everyone. I wanted to show my Dred Scott cut for the first time. If you guys don't know who Dred Scott is, Google it. But my Dred Scott cut for the last time. I'm going to do something with it today. I don't know, but it's getting cut. And I'll probably be wearing a hat for the rest of the quarantine. All right. I don't know if I talked about it here on my videos, but I know I talked about it at the live show about them making it official now that it's going to be a fully virtual draft. And I think that's the smartest thing to do on so many levels. On the level that you want to show that you are staying in your house as well, just to show other people need to stay in their house, because some people are having trouble staying in their house. If you want everybody else to stay in the house so we can get through this, you have to set an example. And your example isn't, having people in 10 people in a room giving high fives because they're giving high fives when the camera ain't on. Things of that sort. You know that that's sending the wrong message. So they hit it out the ballpark on that. And then secondly, making everyone do it. The general managers do it from their homes. I think we have a little thing with Jerry and Stephen being father and son that they might be able to be in the same room. Ha ha ha. But making sure the general managers in every team are at their house, because in some areas, like I told you, my area, we haven't been hit that bad at all yet. So we there are people out there moving about more than in other areas where things are locked down, more because things are bad in that area, like New York and things of that sort. So this way, everybody's even. Everybody has the same things. Everybody can do the same thing. And I'm telling you, there's a small, no, not a small, I was about to say there's a smart part. There's a huge part of me that is completely geeking out over this stuff. I mean, just like I'm a child of the internet. The internet was half the reason I started this channel. It was 50% internet, and then I said I want to do an internet show on the internet because it's going to be big in the future. This was 2005, I think. 2005. So the internet's going to be something big. I want to do a show. What do I think about all the time? The Dallas Cowboys. Well, I'll do a Dallas Cowboys show. And it's there. And not only that, this wasn't my first thing doing, the first time doing something on the internet. I did a show with my wife. I put her in the corner of the screen and I had her talking junk about her reality shows. Like, she was watching her reality shows and she'd pause and she'd talk about it or whatever. One of the main commentary video things that's going on the internet today, 2004, I think. And then 2005, I did a 12-part episodic series, and that's exactly where Shango came from, because I was a producer, director, and I was an actor in it, and that's where the name Shango came from. And I took that because I always wore Cowboys gear and everything like that, and I just took him on into the internet. So I am geeking, and this is not only this. It's like, go furthermore in that celebrities, athletes, all that kind of people are doing shows on the internet. Artists are doing live shows and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, wow, it's coming together. It's because on the other side, they're going to use this. And I think the draft would be a lot better if you can incorporate a lot of this, like teams everybody at their facilities. They just go into their facilities, when the pick goes. But if you can enjoy the draft with your team and see all other, we don't need to go all to New York and sit. That's only for New York people. I think it'd be better for the whole country if we are celebrating the draft with our Cowboys people and we just watch the whole thing happen. I don't need to know. I don't need to go Jets, just. I have no affinity for that. None. I have affinity for this computer. All right, guys. So I feel juiced. I'm as juiced as I can get. All right, enough about me. Let's talk about these offensive tackles, because this is what I did on the show last night. And this one publication, they had 19 offensive tackles with a grade above the 4th round. They had 19 people. And NFL Network had 16 tackles with a starter grade on them. They only had a few edge rushers with starter grades, and the cornerbacks were like, I think, like 10. I know it was almost the same amount of tackles with starter grades as the entire secondary, like corners and safeties, free safeties, strong safeties, all that. There's only like the same amount. So the draft is deep, very deep with offensive tackles. Now, the reason why I'm bringing it up for us is very interesting because Tyron, we don't know. Tyron's his back, and what your back makes you get old quick because he's not old. And that was one of the things that we thought we had when we first drafted Tyron. We said we're going to have a left tackle for a long time. But his play is deteriorating a little bit. Through his scoring, when you look at his ratings and whatnot. So we can use a tackle. Lyle Collins is very versatile. We lost Frederick, so we don't know what our line is going to look like. So with a line with Frederick that was already starting to deteriorate over the last couple of years. This is not, you saw by Ezekiel Elliott in the line. Ezekiel Elliott has never had the line that DeMarco Murray had. Never. They started deteriorating from that year when Ezekiel Elliott got here, and they progressively gotten worse. So this is a draft where we can just, if an offensive tackle that will be with us, it's the same thing as the Frederick deal. If an offensive lineman that will be with us for like 12, 13 years that we can stick there, that's going to be a quality starter. Hey man, that's a blessing. And here's the guys. Andrew Thomas from Georgia. I believe Andrew Thomas from Georgia and Jedrick Wills Jr. Those two are the two best in the draft. I think those two are the ones that will probably be all pro. They're just solid prospects that almost can't go wrong with those. The next two guys, Tristan Wirfs is my favorite. He's 6'5", 325, is super athlete. And with the type of offense I like those offensive linemen that can get out and with screens and move people and do all the kind of stuff athletically, because it kind of speeds up your offense when your offensive line can do things like that. And then a monster from Louisville, Metke, I hope I say it right, Becton from Louisville. He is 6'7", 370 pounds, and he does not move like it. They said he moves like people around 300 pounds, around 300. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. So those are the top four. And if one of those four somehow drops, and I don't foresee it, I see people moving up for offensive tackles, cornerbacks, quarterbacks, and edge rushers. Those four positions are coveted by the NFL. So I do see people, I even if you don't see them in mock drafts going to certain teams, I think teams will move up to get those guys. I know the Bucks are coming to get one of these guys. The Giants are probably getting one of these guys. You know, but if the Giants choose to get Isaiah Simmons or somebody like that instead of an offensive lineman, that pushes one of those guys down. So you don't know what can happen with those guys. So that's why it's very interesting, because we can get a bookend. We can get another bookend and be real good, and we can transition Tyron if he's going to transition. If he's not, we can move Lyle and kick Lyle inside and just have a killer offensive line again. And I'm not worried about Travis Frederick. We got Connor McGovern. I really believe he would probably be one of the best centers in this draft, and he's just like a rookie because he was hurt last year. Okay, also another first round guy with a lot of first round grades on him was Josh Jones from Houston. He's also 6'7". He needs a little bit work, but also can be that stud, not just a good quality player. He has potential to be a stud. That's why he's in the first round. He got that size and the reach and all that kind of stuff. Then, you know, a lot of people in my chat like Ben Barch from St. John. He blew up the Senior Bowl. And that's good for us because that's good for us. That's somebody we should look at, because the Garrett regime did. They took a lot of information from the Senior Bowl. So I don't know how much McCarthy does. Lucas Nying, I like him from TCU. Jack Driscoll from Auburn. We got Matt Pert from UConn, Robert Hunt from Louisiana, Austin Jackson from USC. Now the NFL Network has Austin Jackson in the first round. So these and this publication, I think another, not this one, had a third round grade on him. So a lot of these guys, they're going up and down, and some of these guys with lower than fourth round grades are going to get drafted in the first 4 rounds. So you got Austin Jackson, Calvin Throckmorton from Oregon, Isaiah Wilson from Georgia. Georgia had a killer line. Tyree Phillips from Mississippi, Trey Adams from Washington, Ezra Cleveland. I've seen Ezra Cleveland from Boise State up higher than like third and fourth round area, whatnot. Dante Pinter and Tega Wanago. Auburn had a pretty good line too. So look, man, there's a lot of tackles, and even if we don't get one of those starters, because I'm telling you, something's going to fall to us in 17. The way this thing is shaking out, somebody good is going to fall to us at 17. And if it's not one of these offensive tackles, then we have the rest of the first 4 rounds to actually really get a real good one. Someone that can actually, boost our offensive line that has been tailing off for the past 3 years. All right, guys, I will holler at you later. Tonight, we're doing offensive guards and centers. We're going to finish out the interior, the offensive line, and then we'll move on to maybe tight ends or something. I think we need to do tight ends. I think we need somebody to go with you know what I'm talking about. It's morning. All right, guys. I'll let you talk. Peace out.